Okay, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. Good morning to all of the commissioners, all of the staff, and any visitors that we may have. Welcome to the Board of Fire Commissioners special meeting, Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022, and the time is 9 a.m. Ms. Gomez, would you do a roll call, please?
Woods Gray.
Here.
Babcock. Hara.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Ibarra. Fire Chief Crowley, or in her place.
That's Chief Hogan in place of Chief Crowley. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief
Good morning,
Hogan.
Chief.
Deputy City Attorney Linda Nguyen.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Chief Hogan, would you lead us in the flag salute in a moment of silence, please?
Yes, ma'am, I will. If I can get everybody to stand, if you choose, face the flag, and please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I ask that you remain silent in honor of past and present members of the Los Angeles Fire Department who devote their lives to the protection of all of the communities in Los Angeles. Thank you, Madam President. I give it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Madam Chair, if I may note that Commissioner Ibarra is also with us.
Oh, good morning, Commissioner Ibarra.
Good morning. I thought I think I was muted.
Yes, I have you now. Thank you.
Very good. The next item on the agenda is commission comments. Are there any commissioners who have comments to make?
Yes. So at the time of the last.
Good morning, Dr. Carr.
Good morning. At the time of the last special meeting of the commission, I was actually at USC at the Town and Gown Center for the Los Angeles Business Council meeting. In it, Mayor Eric Garcetti was there. The UCLA Chancellor Gene Block was there. Our Attorney General for California, Roy Bonta, was there, and it was really a good meeting. It dealt with sustainability, and DWP was well represented at the meeting, and like I said, that was at the same time as our last special meeting of the commission. And then on 9/11, I attended the memorial event at the Firefighter Museum put on by the Historical Society. Unfortunately, it was not very well attended, but I still thought it was a good meeting. And then from there, I went to the Hodgkin Memorial Center for their meeting, and that was very well attended. And Chief Crowley had good remarks, as did LAPD Chief Moore, and then actually Sheriff Alex Villanueva was actually also in attendance, and again, Mayor Garcetti was also there, as were a number of the city council members. So I thought it was, as usual, a very important and memorable event.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Harf, for sharing that, and thanks for attending and representing the commission in the various capacities that you do. Are there other comments from other commissioners? Are there other comments from other commissioners?
Madam Chair, I also note that Commissioner Babcock is with us. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good morning, Commissioner.
I also attended. The 9/11 ceremony.
Oh, very
And
good.
this was my first time as a civilian attending it, and it was really impressive and really appropriate. I'm glad we got back to it.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Harvey, for attending and representing the commission also. Very good. Are there other comments from other commissioners?
Yes, this is Commissioner Babcock.
Yes, Commissioner Babcock, good morning.
Good morning. Just a reminder that the Ascot Hills 5K in El Sereno is this weekend, this Saturday.
Ooh.
Supports the Wilson High School LAFD cadet program. So I'm sure there'll be some other folks from LAFD out there. It's something that I look forward to every year. Go out with my my son, my dog, my husband, and try to get as many folks out there.
Recording in progress.
5K. Oops, sorry about that. I don't know if that's me or there was feedback. So anyway, that's it. I was at the 9/11 ceremony as well. It was a beautiful event. So thank you to all the folks that put in that energy. I know it's quite an undertaking every year. So it was a beautiful yet somber ceremony. So thank you.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Babcock, for representing the commission also. And I'm glad you reminded us of that. Is there an online space where we could donate?
Yeah, there's a link. I'll put the link here in the chat, but I'll maybe also have Leticia or somebody send it.
Yeah, send it out as an email because I may not be able to get the chat right. That would be great because I'd like to contribute. Very good, very good. Are there other commissioner comments? Okay, I would like to wish a happy Hispanic Heritage Month to all of the, to our community. We have a large Hispanic community in Los Angeles, and we want to be able to recognize, take advantage, and enjoy the culture and enhance our knowledge as we go through this particular month and understand a lot of more than just the food, because I know we all really appreciate the Hispanic food, but let's get to know more. And we appreciate all of our Hispanic firefighters, and we know that we need more, and we're continuously looking for more Hispanic firefighters, female as well as male. So we want, because together we all make a very strong statement, and it's very valuable when we all come together. I'd also like to just point out that 2 Californians were the reason that legislation was passed that made the holiday, the month, a national holiday. It was recognized by presidents before, but it wasn't until Congressman Roybal passed legislation that made it a week, kind of like Black History Month. It started off as a week. And then Esteban Torres, and I knew both of them and worked with them over the years, made it into a month. So it's quite fitting that we understand and realize that California has had a big part to play in the country recognizing National Hispanic Heritage Month. And we're also proud. We were very proud of them. I loved Congressman Roybal. He was such a fabulous person. So the work that he did continues, and it's a part of his legacy, as much as many other things are. But we really value that information because it came from California, and let's be proud as Californians. Okay, very good. Now, the next item on the agenda is the 2022-23 election of officers. But before that, we want to have, if there was anyone who had public comments. Public comment was down before, but if there was any public comment on, Ms. Gomez, you know what we forgot to do for you to give the rules too for public comment.
Okay,
So maybe before we go into that public comment, you could give the rules, and if there's anybody out there thinking about public comment, they could then get ready. This would be public comment on the election only.
And And I might add that in regard to public comment for the election, which will occur right before the election occurs, there is a time limit of 1 minute. There is only one hand raised, area code 818. Last three digits are 108. I've asked you to unmute, and in case you are commenting on election of officers, or will you be general public comment?
Election of officers.
Okay, very well. Another hand raised. I've asked to unmute 818-438. Please confirm if you will be commenting on election of officers or general public comment.
Election of officers.
Thank you. Stand by, please. Both numbers. Written public comment received will be made part of the meeting file. Persons may listen to this meeting live by dialing any of the telephone numbers listed on the cover of the agenda for this meeting. Should you dial one of these numbers, you will be able to listen to the meeting, but will not be able to give public comment during the meeting. Anyone wishing to address the Board of Fire Commissioners on any item on the agenda or to provide general public comment should call 1-669-900-9128. When you are asked for a meeting ID, please enter 881-2091-3045, followed by the pound sign. Then press the pound sign again to continue. You will then be joined into the meeting. To alert the board that you want to give public comment, press *9. You will be called on by board staff, who may refer to you using the last three digits of the number you are calling from. When unmuted by staff, press *6 and please state your name. As a general reminder, public comment will be limited to 1 minute per agenda item and up to 2 minutes allowed for agenda items. At the request of the speaker will be afforded an additional 1 minute for general public comment for a maximum of 3 minutes total per speaker. Time cannot be ceded to another speaker, and an individual may speak only once during the public comment period. Only those who are in the queue when the president begins the public comment section of the agenda will be allowed to speak. These instructions may also be found on the front page of the meeting agenda. Thank you. So the first caller that wants to comment on public, I have others. Let's begin with area code 818, number 108. You have 1 minute to comment on the election of officers. Please begin.
Good morning. My name is Chris Buxton. I'm president of Los Angeles Mckinley Fire Service. Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
President Liz Gray, commissioners, command staff, Chief Hogan. I'm happy to see that elections are happening. I'm just wondering why they're happening so quickly. Seems like we have just instituted a new president and vice president. And since those have been instituted, meetings have run smoothly. Everybody's voice is heard. While I appreciate having elections, it never happened this fast before under President Ibarra. So my hope is that the commission president and vice president remain in their positions so that we can continue to do the good work of the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Number ending in 438. I believe you confirmed that you're commenting on election of officers. Please begin. I've requested that you unmute. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, I'm speaking on elections. My name is Cynthia, and I'd like to start by saying I found it very disturbing last month that Commissioners Ibarra and Babcock were calling to agendize the commission election procedure. This demand was especially interesting coming from Commissioner Ibarra because under her inept quote unquote leadership while she was commission president, she refused to hold an election for 8 years, from 2013 to 2021, because she was too busy making sure the union was appeased rather than actually listening to all of her organizational stakeholders. Fast forward to this commission under the true leadership of President Woods Gray and Vice President Hara. The difference under their leadership is so clear, and in the last few months, the LAFD has flourished. It is apparent that transparency is of the utmost importance to this leadership team, and the fact that diversity, equity, and inclusion are considered priorities now means that everyone has a voice, not just Freddie and his chosen few. A spectacular illustration of this is the budget priorities, focusing on equity and inclusion staffing, diversity and recruitment, and an expanded professional standards division. Congratulations, President Woods Gray and Vice President Hara. After 8 years of a president who catered only to the union, you have both proven in one short year that you have what it takes to steer the LAFD in the right direction. You've done an amazing job, and it is my sincere hope that you will both be reelected to your respective positions so this important work can continue. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Number ending in 597. I've requested that you unmute, and I need to confirm if you're wanting to comment for 1 minute on the election of officers, or you will be commenting later on other agenda items. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. No, I'm actually commenting on item 7E.
Okay, very well. I will hold you there. Stand by for when we get to general public comment on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Number ending in 960, I've requested that you unmute. Please confirm if you are wanting to comment for 1 minute on election of officers, or you will be coming up.
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Please begin.
Yes, thank you. I also wanted to commend Dr. Hara and Madam President Woods Gray for their leadership over this commission and the department. They say that you can tell what an organization values when you look at their budget, and the fact that they're prioritizing diversity, equity, inclusion is very apparent, as opposed to the previous leadership of the commission where it was just simply a talking point. I think also too that it is very transparent that Commissioner Ibarra is continuing to ask for elections when she didn't hold one again for 8 years. We saw what her leadership looked like. It looked like exactly what UFLAC wanted. That is not leadership. I also think that Commissioner Glazer, when he was here, did a fantastic job of holding the department accountable, and it's one of the reasons why he isn't here now, and that is unfortunate. Again, I want to thank Dr. Hara and Madam President Woods Gray for their leadership, and I hope that they continue. I render the rest of my time.
Thank you for your comment. There being no additional public comment on this item, I will begin the process of elections. Please note that I will initially open for nomination of president and go through that entire process, requiring a roll call vote on several items, and then we will continue the process for vice president.
This is Commissioner Babcock. Should we make comments now, or do we nominate and then make comments after nominations?
Linda?
Hi, there will be no comments on the nominations. It's just nominations at this point. Once an officer has been elected, that elected officer may make brief comments on their goals as the officer, but comments regarding the nominations needs to be a restraint from comments on the nominations. It's just nominations and elections at this point.
Just out of clarity, why is that? I just want to, otherwise I would have done it during commission comments, because I think there's a lot of miscommunication in the air right now that I'd like to clear up. But I should have been able to do that at some point if there was any other item on the agenda. Typically, we're able to comment on.
Yeah, it's because it's considered, there cannot be any campaigning sort of comments. If you want to clarify something, then that's fine, but the comments can't be of a campaigning nature just because it would be inappropriate under the Brown Act.
Okay, so when should I clarify, now or wait until after nominations?
What are you clarifying?
Yeah, so look, I come from a commission that I was on for 8 years that we had board elections every year without having to ask for them. So I know every commission is different. However, just so we're all clear, I think, there was a precedent in place for a very long time on this particular commission. Whether it should have been or shouldn't have been is not necessarily for me to say because I was not there. However, asking for elections to me is really just part of the democratic process. And I know all of my fellow commissioners respect that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. So I recall that when I came on June last year, we had elections, my first meeting. So that probably would have been in July. That should always be with this. Look, this board's going to be here long after we're all gone. And it should be something that's set in place. So I'm not sure if that's something for our city attorney to manage. It shouldn't have to come from commissioners that elections come up. And I think we should have that precedent going forward, that look, this is a democratic process. Unfortunately, oftentimes our egos get involved. I don't want to have that. President Woods Gray has been one of the most transitional, great leaders that I've been able to work with on this commission, Commissioner Hara. With that being said, I just want to make very clear that elections should be set in place annually for any commission. And that should come not from us, not from the commissioners, because then there becomes some error from the public comment that they believe we're steering certain ways. So look, I've been fortunate to be on here a year and would like to just see going forward, if we're here in a year, that happens and that they're just set annually, and that maybe that's something down the line that we have to agendize after this happens, but just want to make that very clear. So that's my comment. It's not to campaign, it's just to make clarity because I think there's a lot of miscommunication, especially from the public. So thank you.
City Attorney Gwen, I also was not aware that we weren't able to make any comments during this part. So I'm wondering if we can go back to commissioner comments so that we can clear up any issues and then proceed with the election.
That would be fine, Madam President, as long as the comments are not of a campaigning nature.
Okay. All right. So with that,
Commissioner Barr, you have a comment
sure,
related to the election?
Yes, because I understand the criticism that we didn't have an election for 8 years. And I understand why that would bother people. I mean, in fact, we had an election in 2013, we had an election in 2014. I just want people to know, because it's obviously an issue that came up. I never asked to be president of the commission. The mayor asked me to be president of the commission. The night before, at 9 o'clock at night, we were having an election at 9 o'clock in the morning. Since then, there was never any indication that there should be another election. The issue came up again 4 years ago when the mayor's office told me that they wanted Corinne Tapia Babcock to be the next president of the commission, and that she was going to come on board this commission so she could be president. So we were working on transitioning for Ms. Tapia Babcock to become president of the commission. Now, last year, she came on the commission, and I think Dr. Hara promised that he would vote for her and he would nominate her. He did not do that. And so it turned out the way that it did. So as it happens, the mayor wanted something, the commission did something else, and that's entirely appropriate. But I also feel like, because so much has been speculated upon, I just want to speak the truth and tell you what happened. That's what happened last year. So, you know, we're going to have another election. Now that we know, now that the city attorney's office has clarified to us that we need to have an election every year, we should have an election every year. Because now that process has been clarified. Now it's the commission has made clear that they're not going to follow the mayor's direction, that they're going to do their own thing. That's also appropriate, but I just want you to know what happened. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, President Woods Gray, for allowing us to have the comments. I should have done it during commissioner comments. It's not to lobby. It's really just, I want clarity. I want a democratic process. I think this is one of the greatest commissions that we all could ever serve on. So thank you, President.
Thank you for your comments. City Attorney, when should we move on now?
Yes, it would be appropriate to move on now.
Nominations for the office of president are now in order. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Commissioner Jimmy Woods Gray for a second term as president.
Please note that a second is not typically required, so I'm not going to ask for one.
To make a comment.
I'm getting, I don't know where I'm
I'd
getting that
like,
feedback
before you leave,
from.
I'd like to make a comment.
It's Commissioner Harvey.
Okay, Commissioner Harvey, your screen has locked up, and there you are. Now you're back. Okay. Now you're locked up again.
Maybe he should log out and log back in. Let me reach out.
Thank you, Carr.
You're welcome. I'll work with him.
In the meantime, I would like to nominate myself, Corinne Tapia Babcock, for president.
Okay. My next question was going to be, are there any other nominations? And I'll put Commissioner Babcock.
This is just for president?
Yes, we will go through the entire process for president and then for vice president. Commissioner Harvey, it looks like you are back on active again. Linda, will he be able to make comments as he's requesting? I think that's what I understood before he was breaking out.
Is he going, it depends what the comment is. Is he going to ask a clarifying question, or is he trying to use up his make a comment that was basically a commission comment?
Discuss amongst yourself. Commissioner Harvey? Your screen is locked up again, Commissioner Harvey.
He's frozen.
I wanted to make a comment during commissioner comments, but oh, jeez.
Commissioner Harvey, can it wait until after the election of the officers, since we're in the middle of nominations right now?
Yes.
Can he hear?
Commissioner Harvey, did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can your comment wait until after the election of officers, since we just opened up nominations, or did you have very general? Okay. Okay, then let's wait until we're done with the election of officers, if that's okay with you.
Thank you both. To confirm, Commissioner Jimmy Woods Gray is nominated, and the additional nomination is for Commissioner Babcock. Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Is there a motion to close nominations for president?
So moved.
Second.
If there are no further nominations, it is moved and seconded that the nominations be closed. Now, in order to close nominations, I will do a roll call vote. Babcock?
Yes.
Hara?
Aye.
Harvey?
He's frozen.
Ibarra?
Yes.
Woods Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Harvey. I need you to vote yes or no to close nominations. Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. I see you're signaling thumbs up. Yes. The ayes have it by 5 votes, and the motion to close nominations for the office of president is carried. We'll do one first. Commissioner Woods Gray is a nominee for the office of president.
Aye.
And again, I'll do a roll call vote for that.
Yes.
Babcock,
No.
Hara,
Aye.
Harvey, if you can hear me, Commissioner Harvey,
I think you voted yes earlier.
we are
You wasn't
voting.
supposed to.
Oh,
Yeah. We are voting. Okay, you're voting yes for Woods Gray as a nominee for the office of president. Ibarra,
No.
Jimmy Woods Gray,
Yes.
Yes.
thank you. The ayes have it, and now we go to the second
Yes.
nomination. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Babcock is a nominee for the office of president. Again, we'll do a roll call vote. Babcock,
yes.
Hara,
No.
Harvey,
No.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Woods Gray.
No.
Motion doesn't carry. Therefore, Commissioner Jimmy Woods Gray is the 2022-2023 president by vote. The ayes have it, and she's declared elected to the office of president. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we're going to nominate the same process for vice president. Nominations for the office of vice president are now in order. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate myself as vice president of the Board of Fire Commissioners.
Are
This
there
is
any?
Delia Ibarra.
I noted. Are there any other
Yeah,
nominations?
Jimmy Woods Great. Jimmy Woods Great. I nominate Dr. Har, Jimmy Har, for vice president.
Very well. Is there a motion to close nominations for vice president?
Oh, I would like to
Move
change
to
my nomination. Actually,
close
I'm sorry. I want to change
nominations
my
for
nomination.
president.
Stand by. Commissioner Harvey, it's probably best for your audio because it's really dragging. If you can just show me a thumbs up and thumbs down when we go through the process. So, but before I ask for a close to vice president, I noted that Commissioner Ibarra nominated herself for
I want
vice
to change
president.
that.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I want to nominate Commissioner Babcock as vice president.
Are there any other nominations? And I noted that Commissioner Woods Gray nominated Commissioner Hara. Am I correct?
Yes.
Is there a motion to close the nominations for vice president?
I so move.
Second.
If there are no further nominations, it is moved and seconded that nominations be closed. I'll be doing now a roll call vote to close nominations. Babcock,
Yes.
Hara,
Aye.
Harvey. You're frozen, sir.
Maybe he should call it.
I'll come back. Ibarra,
So this is just to close nominations, correct?
correct.
Yes.
Woods Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Harvey. Are you voting to close nominations? I need a yes or a no, or for you a thumbs up or thumbs down.
I believe Chief Everett is trying to reach him right now. He was going to
Yeah.
text him. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Since we're not able to reach him, it doesn't really, and Linda, you can clarify, it doesn't matter if he votes or not because majority has it.
That's
So
correct.
when you do not vote, are not able to vote, your vote is a yes. So the majority has
We'll
it.
be tied then. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's just to close nominations.
He should be allowed to call in at least.
Yeah.
Did he come back on?
Let me see. I keep hearing a doorbell somewhere.
I know, so I'm wondering if he coming back on.
The notification.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. My question is, the roll call vote, we are voting only to close nominations.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. The ayes have it by 5 votes, and the motion to close nominations for the office of Vice President is carried. We'll begin. Let's see. Commissioner Babcock is the nominee for the office of Vice President. And we'll voice vote again. Babcock,
Yes.
Hara,
No.
Harvey,
No.
Ibarra.
So we're voting on Commissioner Babcock now?
We are voting yes for Commissioner Babcock for the Vice President.
Oh, yes.
Jimmy Woods Gray.
No.
Okay, motion doesn't carry, so we'll move to the second nominee, which is Commissioner Hara. Babcock,
No.
Hara,
Aye.
Harvey,
Yes.
Ibarra,
No.
Woods Gray.
Yes.
Motion carries. The ayes have it by 3 votes. Commissioner Hara is declared elected to the office of Vice President. Congratulations. I believe we're now finished with elections, correct, Linda?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much to all the people who voted for me, and to all the ones who didn't. I look forward to working with you, and I appreciate and value your talents on this commission. And I know it's not a personal thing. It's an election. And so we move on to the next phases of our work, and none of us really know how long that is. We have a new mayor coming in, and we look forward to hoping that we get the mayor that we want. Each whoever you're looking for, I hope that person becomes the new mayor, and the new mayor will actually then be able to make decisions about who they want to be on the commission, as they normally do in past years, past practices. So we'll see if it continues or what will happen there. I look forward to working with the chief in the department and the other commissioners in ways that we can help to improve and to make this department, as Chief Terrazas always said, the best department in the world. and I think that we're heading in the right direction. I really look forward to that. I was very pleased to see the budget and to see that things are there that will really make a big difference for this department. And I look forward to that, to the work that we will do. Let's move on now to item 3, which is the report of the chief.
Oh, Madam President, I just wanted to remind you that I believe Commissioner Harvey had commission comments that he wanted to make.
Okay, Commissioner Harvey, do you still want to make your comment?
No, I don't need to make any comments at this time.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Harvey. Let's move on to item 3, the report of the fire chief. Chief Hogan, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, and good morning to you, and congratulations to you, Madam President, and to you also, Mr. Vice President, on your recent election. Honorable Commissioners, Deputy City Attorney Nguyen, Ms. Gomez, and to the management and staff of the LAFD. My name is Armando Hogan, and I serve as the Chief Deputy in charge of all LAFD administrative operations. As Chief Crowley is away conducting the business of the LAFD, I'm honored to be here and share with you her recent meetings, activities, and events. They are as follows. On August 16th, she attended the FEMA Board of Visitors National Fire Academy at Emmitsburg, Maryland. On August 22nd, she attended the LAFD 2022 Officers Academy. On August 24th, she had a couple of meetings. That was the barbecue fundraiser for Lavea Mosley, who was a victim of illegal fireworks in South LA, and want to thank Chief Villanueva and his staff for putting that together. And then also the LAFD and BGPSA concept meeting. On August 25th, she attended the promotional ceremony, and we're proud to say it was promotions for sworn and civilian. So we were very proud to have that group gathering where all of our members were recognized. On August 26th, she met with the Council for Women's Management, the Academy of Graduation there, excuse me. Also, she attended the Women's Equality Day, the Power of Procurement at the library. And then on August 30th, she attended the Marquise Who's Who interview, where she was interviewed at that particular location. On August 31st, she attended the VICA, Women in Leadership Committee meeting. On September 1st, she attended the memorial for firefighter Ismael Valata Ayala. And then on September 7th, she had a chat with the chief interview. On September 8th, she attended the memorial service for the ocean lifeguard Derek Traker. On September 11th, she too attended the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony at Frank Hoskins. On September 14th, she attended the Cal Chiefs Conference in Sacramento. And then on September 16th and 17th, she attended the Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And today, she is at the Urban Fire Forum in Boston, conducting once again the city's business. That concludes her list of meetings and events.
Thank you, Chief. I see that Chief Crowley has been very busy.
Very busy and very active. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we appreciate the work that she does by getting out there and putting a face on the LAFD. The next item is item B, the verbal report by the department on significant incidents.
Yes, ma'am. That will be Chief Flegel will begin, and he will be followed by Chief Villanueva.
Okay. Good morning, Chief Flegel.
Good morning, Madam President, and congratulations on your election.
Thank you. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, ma'am. And congratulations to you, Dr. Har, as well on your reelection. Again, good morning. My name is Philip Flegel. I'm the Deputy Chief in charge of Operations Central Bureau. Good morning to all commissioners, LAFD command staff, and everybody else attending this meeting. This morning, I'd like to discuss the major emergency structure fire that Central Bureau Resources responded to on September 5th this year, incident number 984 in Fire Station 17's district at approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon. LAFD Resources responded to reported structure fire at the 2800 block of East 11th Street in the commercial industrial section of the Boyle Heights area of Los Angeles, located in Council District 14. First Arrive Resources found a one row of commercial buildings with a mid-block 75 by 100 foot occupancy that had heavy smoke showing. LAFD firefighters and paramedics deployed in an offensive mode to attack the fire and to protect the other exposed commercial occupancies in that area. Within 10 minutes of that battle, the fire rapidly progressed, and out of abundance of caution for firefighter safety, the incident commander transitioned to a defensive mode. That mode deployed an aggressive fire attack with heavy stream appliances and large diameter hand lines to extinguish the now 3 commercial buildings that were involved in fire. I do want to touch on that was the third, or actually the 4th day of we had 100-degree plus temperatures in the city of Los Angeles. So firefighters were engaged in a battle while combating those temperatures at the same time. Additional resources assisted with the exposure protection, search, and salvage operations of the occupancy. And again, with over 100-degree temperatures, LAFD firefighters and paramedics achieved a knockdown within 2 hours of the initial call for 911. Unfortunately, there were 4 minor LAFD member injuries. Those members were transported, evaluated at a local area hospital, and they were subsequently discharged to full duty that afternoon. I will field any questions if anybody has anything to ask of me at all about this incident.
Thank you, Chief Legal. And thanks to the firefighters for all that service. Those were some very dangerous situations that they found themselves in. And the heat, of course, did not help at all. We certainly were thinking of them.
Yes.
Are there any questions from the commissioners or comments on Chief Legal's report? Okay, I don't see anyone wanting to make comment on your report or questions, Chief Legal. Thank you very much for the work you do. Stay safe out there and continued success.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
And did I hear that Chief Villanueva was here?
Yes, ma'am. Chief Villanueva will has a delivery for the commission.
Okay. Good morning, Chief.
If you're able to unmute yourself now, go ahead.
There you go. Thank you.
Good morning, Chief Ronnie V. Good to see you.
Good morning. Great to see everybody. Congratulations on your reelection. And same to you, Dr. Hara.
Thank you very much.
Good to see everybody again. Well, again, I'm Deputy Chief Ronnie Villanueva, and I'd also like to address you, Madam President, and the commissioners, and Deputy City Attorney Nguyen, and Ms. Gomez. Again, Deputy Chief Ronnie Villanueva, Operations South Bureau. We had a couple fires that I'd like to go over. The first one is the Mckinley Fire that occurred on September 11th. This year, incident 156 at 2:21 hours in the morning. This is the Mckinley Fire, 4802 South McKinley Avenue. It's CD9, Kern Price's district. Councilmember Kern Price, Southeast Los Angeles, Fire Station 21's district. It was the Victory Baptist Church. It was built in 1940. It was a shame. A beautiful church. And so the lot size is 4,000 square feet. It was a wood frame stucco construction, mostly 1 story and a small 2-story portion in the back. And you'll know why that's significant here in a minute. Most of the fire contained in the attic of the 1-story portion above the church sanctuary. Initial writing companies, and they did encounter some forcible entry challenges, but they did overcome that. There was a structural collapse that occurred at 2:49. Now this started at 1:56 at 2:21 hours in the morning. So at 4:49, we had a structural collapse, pinning and injuring a total of 3 firefighters. The quick action by the surrounding companies that were there, they were able to extract the members out fairly quickly. 2 of the members are back to work. 1 of them remains off duty. The heavy equipment unit worked collaboratively with the pastor because they had a lot of valuables that were in the church. So through the next few days, they worked with them to recover salvageable property and remove any existing structural hazards. Now, on 9/14, again, this occurred on 9/11, 7 days later, arson in concert with allied agencies in the House of Worship Task Force arrested a 23-year-old male person experiencing homelessness, and he is currently in custody. So it was a tragic event. A lot of lessons learned for us as well. But luckily, it could have been worse, but it wasn't. So we did have our members are safe. And the pastor is very happy with the work that the LAFD did, and we worked in concert with them and his staff for a few days there. So the next fire is on 9000 West Venice Boulevard, the Venice fire. That occurred. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. That occurred on September 17th, incident 289, and that occurred at 0544 hours. And it was a major emergency, and that was in Councilmember Paul Koretz's district, the Palms area, Fire Station 43, Battalion 18. This is a 400 by 50 single-story retail center strip mall with some wood frame construction. The initial fire started in one unit of the occupancy, which shares a common attic and facade. Fire soon involved the facade and the attic extending horizontally throughout the occupancy, later resulting in 2 facade collapses. So again, we're very, very fortunate that nobody's getting hurt. So in total, the building housed, well, no human anyway, at this part right now. In total, the building had 15 separate businesses, 2 of which were mostly destroyed, while another 5 were damaged. One of the occupancies within the retail center was a cat hotel, and 17 of the house cats were found deceased. So that was very, very tragic of what happened there. So we worked with the animal shelter and assisted with the respectful handling of the cats and the notification to their owners. So that took some time. Chief Moore was on scene for the whole day there, making sure that we were respectful to the owners of the cats and for the other lost the retail businesses that were there as well. So many lessons learned that we've had there. We were very fortunate to have some close calls and didn't result in any firefighter injuries, but we are taking advantage of the opportunity of learning from those lessons, and we're building PowerPoint and discussing with all of our staff so that we can really break those down, listening to the radio communications on genesis of both of these fires. And we're doing that with all the bureaus. So all the bureaus are doing the same thing to make things better and to eliminate any injuries. So that's all that I have in the report, unless you have any questions for me.
Oh, thank you, Chief, very much for that report. Our main issue is to keep everybody safe, and it seems like that seems to be happening with minor injuries for some firefighters. So I'm glad that you're looking at it and evaluating it, and that you'll use this experience to build upon for the future. That Victory Baptist Church is a church where we've had many, many political meetings over the years. It is historical in our community, and it was a shame to see it go up in flames like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any comments or questions or concerns from the other commissioners?
Yeah, I'd like to speak on Victory Baptist Church fire. When an incident occurs, it affects different people in the community differently. On a personal note, my parents were actually married at that church.
Oh,
I was baptized, and 3 of my aunts were also baptized at that church. So it's a close family connection for me with regard to the incident at the church. And I know with HIPAA regulations, you can't give too many details on the firefighters that were injured, but is there a good prognosis for the one who still remains off duty?
Yes, it looks, again, with the HIPAA, it looks very good. You'll should be back to duty, I would say, within a few months.
Okay, thank you.
And also, Madam President, if I could make another comment, if it's appropriate, is that I failed to mention and a congratulations and a welcome back for Commissioner Harvey to the LAFD. So this is the first time I have seen him. So I just wanted to welcome back. That was it.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Good to have him back. Very much so. Thank you, Commissioner Harvey, for sharing that with us. I know that is a very old part of LA, and I know the many, many meetings that I've attended there and services over the years. But for have personal ties, you're right. That is a lot was destroyed with the fire like that. But they will rebuild. It just won't be the same.
That's true.
Tell you. Oh, okay. Are there any other comments or questions from other commissioners? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Chief. Continued success and keeping everybody safe down there.
Thank you.
And you stay safe too. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay.
Madam President, that concludes item 3B. We are ready to move to item 3C with your permission.
Thank you.
Dr.
Caller ending in 597. I've requested that you unmute. Please confirm which agenda item or item.
Ms. Gomez, we're still on item 3C.
Pardon me. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, Chief, item 3C.
Yes, ma'am. So at this time, Dr. Senko has a delivery for you.
Good morning, Dr. Senko.
Good morning, Madam President, Dr. Hara, and fellow commissioners. It's Dr. Steve Sanko, Professor of Emergency Medicine at LA County USC Medical Center and Acting Chief Physician and Commander for the EMS Bureau. The following is my verbal report. Since the last Fire Commission meeting, LAFD has provided care to over 15,000 patients, roughly the occupancy of the Kia Forum. On September 17th, Rescue and Engine 82 were summoned to a 60-year-old female who suddenly became unconscious in her home. Using LAFD's unique tiered dispatch system, our telecommunicators quickly prompted her family to start CPR. Paramedics arrived, continued high-quality CPR, and recognized that this woman was stuck in a very particular type of cardiac arrest where she had a shockable rhythm that wouldn't go away. Using our old system a number of years ago, this patient would have been pronounced nearly 100% of the time on scene. However, in this case, they provided multiple shocks, transported her to a specialized heart center capable of quickly placing her on a heart-lung machine, and she survived a hospital admission and the cath lab. For the last 2 years, LAFD has helped lead an effort to implement a new bundle of care to bridge patients with refractory shockable cardiac arrest to hospital cath labs using out-of-hospital mechanical compression, resulting in a number of saves, in particular among patients who we say are too young to die or who live in communities with a lack of STEMI receiving centers, such as South Los Angeles. My second case I wanted to highlight is on Friday the 16th, one of our Battalion 1 rescues attended both a patient in cardiac arrest where they achieved return of spontaneous circulation, return of pulses, as well as a patient in status epilepticus, an unrelenting seizure whose seizure was stopped by the administration of intramuscular medication, and a patient with sepsis and severe symptomatic hypoglycemia, all in one afternoon. Thanks to the efforts of our members and their judicious medical management in these cases, including use of the right medications right away, all three of these patients survived a hospital discharge in good status. I bring these cases up to highlight the fact that the medications used in all three of these scenarios, epinephrine in cardiac arrest, midazolam in seizures, and even glucose for hypoglycemia, are all on national shortage. And these national shortages have impacted 911 providers throughout LA County and, in fact, throughout the country. The shops, the EMS Bureau, and the department and our department leadership have all been working diligently on this complex issue and continue to appreciate city leaders' support of these efforts. And then lastly, on the 3rd of this month at approximately 8 a.m., AP7 attended a woman in her late 20s struggling with substance use disorder and asking for help. One of our outstanding physician assistants engaged with the patient, performed a thorough history and physical exam, performed select point of care tests, and was able to medically clear the patient on scene and even arrange for her to go and enter a substance use treatment program. This was a first for LAFD and the first case of 911 patient navigated directly to a drug treatment center in the state of California that I'm aware of. LAFD's Mobile Integrated Healthcare Unit has been in service since 2016 and continues to blaze new paths in providing patients with timely care and enhanced patient navigation This case highlights how our MIH unit is committed to finding new approaches to provide assistance to our many patients struggling with drugs and alcohol. We appreciate the Commission's support of our work in this important area. And this ends my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions regarding EMS-related issues.
Oh, that's wonderful. They were able to get the person to a drug rehab place. And they had a bed for them, I assume. I've had that experience where they didn't have a bed and the person was ready to go. But I really appreciate the fact that we're going in that direction, because there is a lot of need for other medically related things out there that we can help with, and that's really great. I'm glad to see the service being used that way. Are there any comments, concerns, or questions from the other commissioners? No, I don't seem to see anyone wanting to be recognized, Dr. Sanko. So thank you very much for the work that you're doing, and continuous success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we'll move on to the next item. Just before we move to the next item, I think in my haste to move ahead, I forgot to congratulate Dr. Hara on his election as vice president, and to thank him for his past services and wish him success in the next year. And Dr. Hara, I didn't know if you wanted to say something after your election. I moved too quickly.
No comment. Thank you, though.
Okay, very good. I wanted to make sure I went back and took care of that because I didn't remember doing it. Okay, very good. So now we're at item number 4, Ms. Gomez.
Oh, actually,
comment.
I have a clarifying question, because the agenda is, as I'm looking at the agenda, and we agendized public comment as number 4, but we already took public comment. And then, because we don't usually, after Ms. Jimmy Woods Gray, we only take public comment once. So there's only one public comment agendized.
Okay, let me go back to the beginning. I think you probably missed the beginning part where I explained that we would have comments before the election, but that we would also have the agendized. We would also have number 4 on the agenda items.
But we didn't agendize public comment for the election.
No, we did not, and that was stated at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay. So
now we're item number 4, public comment on the agenda items.
No, can I have the city attorney just clarify that?
Yes, agendizing public comment, moving public comment for the election of the officers was appropriate, and it's appropriate to have a public comment for the remaining agenda items at this point.
So can we have public comment after, because that's what we used to do, and it makes sense to do that because sometimes the public wants to have a comment after each item. Does that mean that that's always appropriate, or?
That is the purview of the president when we have public comment. We just need to have it before an item is voted on.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Gomez will now move to public comment on agenda items.
Thank you. Number ending in 597. I've requested that you unmute. Please confirm the agenda item or items you will be speaking to today.
Yes, hi, good morning. My name is Elena Elise, and I will be speaking on item 7E.
7E.
E.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for your time, Commissioners. In regards to item 7E, I understand there is a non-compliance process. I'm a resident of the community. I live in a place that's highly fully trafficked, and LAFD as well as PD is always moving in my community. I do see less firefighters, and the ones that I'm seeing there's more and more accidents that are happening.
On there?
So I'm sorry? Hi. Well, in regards to 7E, I am requesting right now it says that there's a non-compliance process, that LAFD also puts a transparency of rejections. There is no process of transparency. I'm seeing more and more religious exemptions that are being denied, as well as medical exemptions. It is a very slippery slope for LAFD to deny. A religious exemption is also discrimination. In addition to that, there is no protocol. There's nothing that members or non-members can go online and see why they've been rejected. I think that it is appropriate to be transparent, and also what are the credentials for the persons or people that are doing the interviews? Are they doctors? Are they religious leaders? Do they align with the same faith as the persons they're interviewing? Because how else are they determining who is rejected and who is approved? In regards to that, we're letting go or having several firefighters in suspension is something that's inappropriate for our communities. There are people that are willing and ready to go to work, and others that are scared they're going to lose their job tomorrow. Earlier, I heard that LAFD is the best fire department in the world, which it has been. But right now, there are non-sworn-in members and sworn-in members that are sitting in their seats thinking that is not true anymore because they may be losing their job tomorrow. So with that said, I highly consider, and as I understand that the recommendations are, that can be made to the mayor, because obviously the mayor is the chief of command and he makes the decisions on what stands. But I'd recommend, or I'd petition that you would take recommendations on the accidents that are happening, the collapses, the electrocutions that are happening to our firefighters and those that are put in harm's way, and what these mandates are doing. We can stand up for those that are on the front lines. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. Caller ending in 438. You've been unmuted. Please confirm the agenda item or items you will be speaking to.
Yes, I'd like to make general public comment and on item 7E.
You have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good morning. This is Cynthia. And regarding the mandate, I just want to say that as a grandmother who is in the compromised section of the public, I fully support the mandate. I know it's not up to the Fire Commission to make this determination, but I don't want unvaccinated firefighters in my home. You had to get every other vaccination to get this job. This is a requirement that the rest of the public has taken, and I just want you to know that I fully support whatever actions you need to take to include all those firefighters in that mandate. Next, I'd like to congratulate President Woods Gray and Vice President Hara on your reelection. But Commissioner Ibarra, I absolutely do not believe for 1 second that you did not know you were supposed to hold elections. And your quote unquote clarification that the mayor appointed you as president and then removed Andrew Glazer, who, along with Rebecca Ninberg, was the most sincere, trustworthy advocate for all stakeholders, and replaced him with Corinne Babcock, you just publicly confirmed the worst kind of corruption, the unnecessary replacement of a sitting fire commissioner, once again to appease you, Flack. The Fire Commission is an independent commission. The mayor should have no jurisdiction over elections. So thank you for publicly exposing this corruption. Again, congratulations to the new Fire Commission officers. The future of the LAFD is in extremely good hands, and the public you serve eagerly looks forward to what the next year of equity and inclusion within the LAFD will bring under your strong and transparent leadership. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you for your comment. Number ending in 105. I've requested that you unmute. Please confirm the agenda item or items you will be speaking to.
Freddie Escobar, general public, all items.
3 minutes.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Freddie Escobar, president of United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, representing over 3,400 sisters and brothers of the LAFD. I'd be remiss if I didn't add a few comments. Congratulations, Jimmy Woods Gray, on your re-election, and Dr. Hara, and also comments that were made earlier regarding DEI being the priority for the LAFD. The boots on the ground, the priority is staffing the LAFD and continuing our graduation to give relief to the men and women who are pushing en route on scene every single day. Not one position of DEI should be appointed until we fix our staffing in the field. UFLAC supports the DEI, but not at the risk and safety of the members that are in the field every single day. On to my comments. This past Sunday on 60 Minutes, President Joe Biden declared that the pandemic is over. He said, the pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it, but the pandemic is over. If you notice, no one was wearing a mask. UFLAC agrees with the president's statement and believes it's time for the city of LA to move forward and leave behind the vaccine mandates and weekly testing requirements for all city employees, including our firefighters. Almost every single business, institution, and organization in our city has made adjustments to their COVID policies and protocols as the disease and science has evolved over the last couple of years. For example, LAUSD no longer requires its over 600,000 students to test on a weekly basis. Students who may be experiencing symptoms are required to take a COVID test at home and self-report their positive results. Venues including restaurants, theaters, entertainment centers, arenas, and airports are no longer requiring proof of vaccination nor mask. Our firefighters were on the front lines during the height of the pandemic and did what was required of them. It's time for the city of Los Angeles to update their policies and allow our firefighters to get back to work, serving the people of our city with care, respect, and integrity. While I'm speaking about this issue, I'm sorry, but there is absolutely no justification any longer for having remote fire commission meetings now in late September of 2022. It seems like everyone is back to meeting in person except for most LA City commissions. LAFD firefighters and paramedics have never had the option of working from the comfort of our homes. It's time for others who conduct city business to get back to work in person where the actions of this fire commission are accessible and transparent for everyone to see. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. I see no additional hands raised for agenda item 4. And I will double check. No additional comments or hands raised for this item.
Okay, very good. Thank you to the public for comments. We will move ahead to item 5, which is the determination under the Government Code section 54953EI B1I. Is there any discussion on this item?
Oh, this is Delia. I think I've always said that I think it's time for us to go back in person. And one of the reasons that I've given is that our firefighters never had the option to work from home. And I think it's important for us as leadership of the department to go back, and I will continue to hold that position.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Are there any other comments from other commissioners?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Babcock. Just want to make clear, I feel like I hit this every time and want to be crystal clear on it for public record. Are we still unable to support a hybrid environment? Where
Chief,
if folks had an opportunity to come in person, they could, or what's the situation there?
Chief Everett, do you have any comment on that?
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam President.
Good morning, Good morning, Chief.
I understand that there are boardrooms that exist that would allow us to do a hybrid model. The department hasn't been directed necessarily to reach out to schedule those, so I haven't taken those steps. I can do so if you'd like me to. Our room does not have the capability, nor would it be ready in a timely manner. So it wouldn't be practical to do it in the Fire Commission room, but I can certainly reach out to other departments that have those rooms available to see if we can match up our schedules with the room availability.
Yeah, Chief, if you could just at least, look, I do also support, for those that can come in person to be able at least to be in a hybrid environment. However, you all have a lot on your plate. I'm not trying to add more to that, but I do want to remind you that our sister commission, the LA Fire and Police Pension Commission, does have a state-of-the-art boardroom over there in the Arts District that is still, relatively, I think, accessible for most folks to get to. They do require, I was just there for the general manager's retirement, they require masks to enter the building and whatnot. So, look, it's been a healthy environment. That particular commission is back in full force. I'm not sure about others because, again, I don't make myself aware of those. But I would at least like to see if we have the option for maybe the next vote when we have to do this again to just put that out there.
Yes, ma'am. I'll handle that.
Thank you.
Very good. Are there other comments from other commissioners?
I would also like to recommend that we explore a hybrid option. Given my Wi-Fi problems, I'm leaning towards meeting in person with whatever safety protocols could be in place. But then I also want to make it safe for anyone who may be immune compromised or whatever to be able to dial in or use their technology to replace being there in person.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Are there other commissioners with comments? Okay, very good. Well, I've appreciated and valued the opportunity to work from home. As a volunteer for the city, I try to make every effort to stay as safe as I possibly can, even when there was no COVID around, because we had to drive to lots of places uncovered. But I am one of those people who, when President Biden said the pandemic is over, I went, wow, let me question this. What does he mean? I think he meant there's another term for what's going on now, because then the doctors all chimed in and said, well, no, still 400 people are dying every day. And, you know, but there are a lot less people getting sick from the first virus because people have been vaccinated. It's now people are getting sick from the last couple of variants that have been put out there. We haven't had vaccinations for yet, but the vaccinations are available now. So people will, I hope, be taking those vaccinations to protect themselves. I know I will. And so that as they keep working on a vaccination for each variant, it does make a big difference about people going out and being in places. I like the idea of the hybrid meeting, because it does offer choices for people to meet or not meet.
One other comment, Madam President, I'm sorry. Just in terms of, look, if you're a caller, public caller, we obviously can't require anything there, but at the very least, if you're working for the city, please turn your camera on. Having been a new commissioner for the past year, to not put faces with names is difficult. I appreciate all of the actual, the chiefs and everybody else. Unfortunately, I don't see, you know, I don't even ever think I've seen the independent assessor come on by face. So at the very least, if you're going to be on via Zoom, take the time to turn on your camera and be present that way, at least when you're speaking. Obviously, not when you're not speaking, that doesn't make any sense, but that is at least one request I have. So thank you.
Okay, I think generally when they speak, they turn on their cameras, but I know some people have, because of the video and whatever, you keep the video off to keep your service working.
Sure.
But if possible, that's
possible,
not
you know,
right. If possible,
yeah, we've been at this a while, so that's my only request there. So thank you.
And I do understand there are a lot of people in the fire department after 8-9 years now. I don't know them either. But it's because there's so many of them and they keep moving from one chair to another. At any rate, I believe that we still need to continue to meet for the next month, and while we try to figure out our process and for which direction we're going in, and giving Chief Graham Everett a chance to check with the other departments to see if and check with the mayor's office to find out exactly what we have, what we need to do, because the city council and the mayor never issued another press release saying do anything, except if you did go in person, you would have to have a hybrid meeting. So that was, we'll have him check on that. But if there is a motion to continue the ordinance for another 30 days, I will take that motion at this time.
I will make a motion to continue for the next 30 days with the caveat that we have more information on a hybrid meeting at the next commission meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that the commission has determined that due to the COVID-19 state of emergency, that we will continue in the virtual mode for another 30 days and with the report at the next meeting on the possibilities of moving into a hybrid meeting. Ms. Gomez, can you do a roll call, please?
Woods Gray,
Aye.
Babcock, Commissioner Babcock, if you would unmute. We're voting on
Yes, I apologize.
Hara,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Ibarra.
No.
Motion carries.
Okay, very good. Let's move on to item 6. Consent agenda items. Are there any items that anyone wishes to discuss or pull for any reason? It's items 6A through J. A lot of them. Most of these are just procedural things and some things that we've already been involved in for a while. And they tend to just follow the process that they follow. So I don't see anyone who wants to pull or ask questions about items A through J, 6A through J. Is there a motion to adopt the report?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adopt the consent items, the consent agenda items A through J. Ms. Gomez, would you do a roll call, please?
Woods Gray,
Aye.
Babcock,
Yes.
Hara,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Ibarra.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item 7, the regular agenda items. We have item A. I believe Battalion Chief David Thomas is presenting. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Madam
Okay,
President.
good morning. Good morning, Chief.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thomas, how are you?
I'm good. Pleasure to meet you finally.
Nice
Congratulations.
yes, get to see the face to match the voice.
Thank you. Congratulations to your reelection as well as Vice President Dr. Hara. And
Thank you.
Good morning to all the commissioners and command staff, everybody on board. My name is David Thomas. I'm the battalion commander in charge of the fire facilities section. Basically, I take care of all the station's repairs, needs, modifications, and remodels, and what have you. I have a little slide presentation. I'll try to get through this quickly just for the sake of time. So if I can share this, I'll pull it up. And if you can just let me know that everyone sees this, I'll get through this as quick as I possibly can.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, very good.
Everybody.
Okay, so again, we're the fire facilities section. And basically our primary objective is to make sure that the stations are maintained. We have repairs made. We take care of capital improvements, alterations and improvements throughout the fire stations and some of our ancillary buildings. We have our own budget that we maintain just to make sure that these services are working and in place. Under fire facilities, we have this tab that we work with through general services. All the stations and all the facilities can identify a tab, a tile to identify what they need repaired. And they can click it. It comes to here at fire facilities. We can record it, manage it, make sure it's tracked and it's working. So we try to be a single point of access for all the facilities. We also are in charge of the environmental compliance. We take care of all the hazardous waste that's generated by all the facilities. Again, I'm Chief Thomas. I have a staff of 4. I have Captain Keen Poor. She's my environmental compliance officer. I have a management analyst, Christina Torres, and my senior admin is Gina Roscoe. And again, they're They do a lot of the work of what we need here at facilities. Fire facilities takes care of 106 fire stations and all the ancillary buildings there, as you can see, including City Hall East, the 16th through 18th floors. We work with GSD. GSD will take care of basic maintenance out of their general fund, but if there's something that needs to be that's above and beyond.
Chief, I don't think the PowerPoint is moving ahead. We're still on the first slide.
I got you. Okay, let me click this. All right, my apologies. All right. Okay. Yeah, my apologies. Let me try this again. Okay, how about now? Can you see that, Jean?
Now it's moving.
Okay, I am so sorry. My apologies. Okay, again, we're fire facilities, and we just work through GSC to make sure things are fixed. I don't want to be redundant. This is just an example of the tab that we use with general services. The fire stations and facilities can click what they need fixed. We are the point of contact. We contact the GSD and all our vendors to get things taken care of. And over here, this is, again, as I mentioned, we're in charge of hazardous waste management. And this is just what it looks like at a fire station. This is my staff. I have a captain 2. I have a management analyst and a senior admin clerk. And we take care of all the facilities that belong to fire, 106 fire stations, Frank Hodgkins, shops. We take care of everything.
Wow. We
work with GSD for general repairs. If it's something that's broken, a sink, they'll come out and take care of it. But if there's an alteration and improvement needed, that comes out of our budget, and we actually have to get an estimate and pay for that. And it's not very cheap. And these are some of the other vendors that we work with. I'm putting some pictures in here. These are some of the new doors that we put in to our new facilities. Here's a little overview of our budget. The Clean Harbors is what manages our hazardous waste, our capital improvement account, our alteration and improvements, appliances, and what have you. This picture over here is our Plymavent system. This is our diesel capture system. The fire engines connect to this. The diesel emissions are vented to the outside to keep the fire station clear of the emissions. We have some other projects going on, Operation Valley Bureau, about $4.5 million. That project is about complete. We're putting in EV chargers for our fleet. And then these are the extractors that wash the firefighters' turnout gear and make sure everything is clean. And the one thing I wanted to note is that out of our budget, everything that we do, we have to kind of prioritize it based on health and safety first. So if I get a request for landscaping, that's kind of down on the priority list, because again, health and safety is what's much more important. Again, we're the environmental compliance. Captain Porsche manages this. We collect all the waste oil, cooking oil, the COVID waste, and what have you. This is a very new program. We are managed by LA County, and we're on top of this with maintaining our permits and what have you, because there are some associated fines and penalties if you're not in compliance. Just a little, this is what a fire station's accumulation of hazardous waste looks like. This is a bad example here, and unfortunately we have a lot of this. As you can see, they just sit on pallets. There's no collection if there's any waste. As here, these baffles will collect any type of spillage. This is a fire station that took it upon themselves to build this protection to keep it out of the weather, also to maintain the spills and leaks. And this is pretty much what we're going to go with throughout the department. We have these, they're getting old. We probably could use another 80 of them to get everybody up to speed. Then just some of the challenges and needs. As you all know, we're having some problems with security, especially those stations that are proximate to the freeways and what have you. We're having there's health issues with the carpet. We need paint, but all this costs money. All of this costs money. These aren't things that general services will provide for us without a cost. And then one thing I wanted to point out is historically, all the landscaping and tree trimming at a fire station has been done by the members assigned to the station. As busy as we are now, it's getting tough. So landscaping is is kind of one of the tougher things that we're doing. And here, this was kind of my wish list. I could easily use $250,000 per bureau to keep everything up and running. Here's an example of the security that we've done. This is Fire Station 6 that had that unfortunate incident. It doesn't look very good, but we did need the fortified security. Some of the examples of what the flooring looks like. This actually looks the same as City Hall East, but this carpet, it harbors a lot of nasty things that the members bring, bring back from responses. So we're trying to get flooring, and this is the same station. We ended up taking the carpet out and buffing the concrete. We do receive quite a few donated items from the Fire Foundation. We get extractors, we get ice machines, these awesome sub-zero large refrigerator, commercial type refrigerators. The problem with them is that we get them donated, and there's a cost by GSD to have them properly installed. So one of the things that we definitely need is help with getting funding to put these systems in correctly so that GSD will, in fact, maintain them for us. The impact of inflation, just because of the pandemic, it's made it tough on us. Appliances have gone up. There's supply shortage. There's delay in getting things. In the last 2 years, we've got $250,000 for our capital repairs, and this year we got a little less money. So it's just a little tough to work with what we have, but we're doing our best. And then lastly, a couple things are our facilities are getting old. I was at the shops the other day, and it's amazing what they do with the space that they have. They can barely drive trucks and vehicles around here. So there is a need for a future bond. We need to start thinking about new facilities, replacing some fire stations. The life expectancy of a fire station is 50 years. We have 55 stations that are over 50. Just a couple pictures from the shops. You can see the clearances. The vehicles aren't fitting. They're having a difficult time. And this is Fire Station 105. This was built in 1962. This is a very common station for us, but as you can see, the vehicles don't fit. They have the ambulance in the side yard, and you can see how much clearance and space is in the station. So it's a wonder that the members can get the every day, and the number of times that they're going in and out of the station, that they get the apparatus back in the stations properly. So that's pretty much my presentation. You know, what we try to do here is make sure that the members have a place to come back to regroup, resupply, recharge themselves, and we want that atmosphere and that environment to be as healthy as it possibly can. So that's just a quick overview from fire facilities. That's the end of my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have at this point.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief Thomas. That's a good report and interesting insight into facilities. I'm happy to hear about the facilities department and to know of the needs also. But let me ask other commissioners, do you have comments or concerns that you'd like to discuss with the chief? Any questions based on his report?
Yes, Madam President, this is Commissioner Babcock.
Commissioner Babcock.
Thank you, Chief Thomas. What is the line item budget for facilities within LAFD? Do you have that figured out?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Is there what's the budget? What's the line item in our budget for facilities management in terms of the entirety of LAFD?
Yeah, I'll have to reshare my screen. I actually have a little breakdown of that for you. I can show you what we get for. Can you see that change?
I think you just got to.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It changed, but the picture didn't come up. Just the first page.
Yeah, we got your presentation. It just has to go to the right slide.
Tell us which one. Maybe we could just look at it.
Oh, I see. Slide 6.
Number 6 or 7.
Okay.
You just click
on budget and funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see that there?
I see. Right. I see. I mean, I have the page in front of it that you gave us, which is good. Thank you for that. Okay.
Yeah. So if you can see that on hopefully my slide came up.
We can't see it on the screen, but we have it.
You can just click
in the report.
6.
Okay.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There we go.
How about now?
Yeah,
Thank you.
There it
Okay,
is.
my apologies, I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is how we break down. Clean Harbors is the entity that takes care of our waste, our hazardous waste. We get about 500,000 for MCLA. That goes into the into GSD's fund to take care of large infrastructure apparatus, doors, air conditionings, roofs, and what have you. I get about 200,000 for alterations and improvement. Appliance repairs, pest control. Pest control is, we always go way over on pest control because actually every facility should have it. So we're trying to get that going as of right now, including Frank Hodgins, which needs some help there. The Plime event is this system here. That system gets worn out because the engines and ambulances go out the door so much, and then this is extractors. So this is pretty much my overall budget that I get.
Remind me, how many stations are there in the city, Chief?
There are 106 stations.
So if you divide, just let's take pest control as a line item, which is a significant piece of facilities management and can cause, big issues if that's not taken care of. I mean, I can't even imagine that covers all of our stations throughout the city. So are you picking and choosing who gets pest control, or how does that work?
No, ma'am. It basically, and again, we do get supported. This is basically what we get, but we probably spend 3 times that much, to be honest, and it does get covered. But okay. Some stations are on a regular system, and other stations aren't, and we add them as they start having issues with pest.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, living in El Sereno, that's the brick fire station that you showed in the photo is that's my fire station. So it's always beautiful and well kept when I drive by, but I'm sure again it's stations like that are in need of upgrades and whatnot. So
yes, ma'am.
Okay, well I appreciate your presentation. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So is the budget that you're showing us on the screen that has been approved? As
Yes,
a part of the approved budget? Okay.
Yes, Madam President.
Very good.
Madam President, if I may.
Yes, Chief Hogan.
I just also want to recognize Chief Thomas and his staff. He's an army of few, and for 106 fire stations and 127 work locations, he is constantly being bombarded with, can you do? We need help. We need your assistance. So we also want to look at possibly building out his staff so that now that we have the 4 bureau concept, to probably break that down more, where we can give the stations the attention that they need as it relates to repairs, relates to whatever the challenges that they face there. But I do want to salute Chief Thomas. I do appreciate him. In addition to being an outstanding athlete, he's an outstanding advocate for getting things done. So just wanted to point that out to the commission, because it is no easy task what he undertakes on a daily basis.
No, Chief Hogan, I appreciate you bringing that up, because he's really running a small country in many ways, if you think about it that way, based on the number of facilities you all have. Just one other question, Chief Thomas, are these all services that are contracted out, or is there things that you're having to do in-house, or do you guys go out to bid, or what's the process there?
Yeah, pretty much. We do have vendors that take care of all of our appliances. General Services pretty much takes care of the building, but we do have systems that are taken care of by specialized vendors, and we do have budgets and accounts for those repairs.
I appreciate that.
So do you go to bid for the vendors, or is there a certified list from the city GSD department?
There are some vendors. There are some things that we might have to purchase, like a stove. If we need to replace a stove somewhere, that does go out to bid, and that's been a challenge for us. We've got a couple of stations that need stoves, and the process has been really tough because of the supply chain is so bad right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wanted to commend Chief Thomas on the work that he does also, because that's actually how I first met him, was because there was an issue and we had this long discussion, and then I started hearing that, wow, we have a lot of facilities and we need a lot more help for all of these facilities. And we really have to thank the firefighters in the stations, because they do so many things to help to keep the fire stations running and keep up the fire stations without extra charge. And it's amazing how much they really do at these stations. And then there comes a time when they can't do it, and then there's no money for them to do it. But running, Annie, when you think of the size of Los Angeles, and the chief has to go from the harbor to up in the hills above the valley area there, and back down and around to the ocean, that you have a large area to cover, and there's only actually one of you, because the other captain works with the hazardous waste, right?
That's correct, but he does quite a bit of facility stuff.
He helps you with other stuff.
Me as well. Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Oh, okay. Well, but still, that's a lot. Now, when Chief Hogan mentioned the bureaus, are you looking and thinking about maybe putting a facilities branch in each of the bureaus?
We are exploring every option, because right now, to the point that was made earlier, sometimes our firefighters are forced to take it upon themselves to do, certain repairs and things of that nature. And just in the spirit of their great effort and their great energy, to try to keep things moving. So what we want to be able to do is give them better attention, but we also understand in order to sustain that, we've got to have budget and we've got to have some funding for that. So we're looking to see, can we branch out and build out the fire facilities section to see what other needs or how we can best address, versus, to your point, having Chief Thomas running around all over the city, particularly when he has to get eyes on a particular building or facility. So we're looking at exploring all of those options, but obviously we'll look at that based on what the budget yields and how we can prioritize from there.
And I think we really should explore a bond somewhere soon, because of the fact that we have these 50 fire stations that are over 50 years old. Then we also have fire stations that need to be painted, and we have fire stations that have other needs for other upkeeps, and then just the general running of fire stations. I remember when we did a bond some years back, and I know that one is gone, long gone. So I really think we need to look at doing another bond, because that's the only way we replace stations and get them painted and all of it, like on the outside or the inside, or.
That's correct. That's correct, Madam President.
It's through the bond system.
And we were working very hard on a bond. We actually have a little bond project that we were ready to launch, and then COVID hit us. And
okay.
And the tough thing too now is to ask the citizens to pay more taxes now is a little tough. It's going to be tough to get a bond out and get a bond voted on to pass. It's 2/3 on a bond.
Or maybe in another year, by the time you get it all worked out, I think things will have improved.
Yes,
and we'll have to be very strategic about that, but we'll speak with the fire chief, and then we'll look to see, particularly in our strategic planning meetings, when would be the best time to do that.
Right, but sooner than later, I think, would probably be a good time to do it.
Yes,
are there any other concerns or questions from the?
I just want to also just chime in, because every time I'm in a firehouse, they first thing they want to talk about is the facilities and the repairs that they've had to make. And so I know this is a difficult task. I know that firefighters make a lot of requests. So thank you for this very thorough report, because it's one of the fundamental ways that we understand our department and the challenges that we've had, we continue to have, and how much we make do with the little that we have. So thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Ibarra. Are there other comments from other commissioners? Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much, Chief Thomas, and we wish you much success with what you're doing, and hopefully we can look at this, and the budget is set, but something can be done to assist your department in some ways. And of course, the commission is always here if you need assistance. So do let us know.
Thank you for your
how
time,
we can
Madam
assist
President.
you. Okay.
Thank you. Very well
Thank
appreciated.
you. Because our facilities, that's the face of the fire department. We have to take care of them.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your report. Is there a motion to receive and file the item BFC 22-078?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we receive and file BFC 22-078. Ms. Gomez?
Woods Gray,
Aye.
Babcock, Commissioner Babcock. I'll come back. I've requested that she unmute. Hara,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Commissioner Babcock. She may not be able to.
I don't see her.
I see her in the middle of my screen,
There we go. All right.
but I've requested twice to
She's
unmute.
She's
So she
muted.
may be unavailable. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4
Okay.
votes. Motion
and-
carries.
Thank you. Maybe you could come back to her when she comes back on, because maybe there's an issue there. Okay, very good. Let's move on to item 7B. 7B, I believe, is going to be done by Chief Kepner. It's on the corrective action summary.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
Congratulations, President
Thank
Woods
you.
Gray, Vice President Hara. Good morning, Commissioners, Chief Hogan, City Attorney Nguyen, and Leticia. My name is Christina Kepner, and I am the Assistant Chief assigned to the Professional Standards Division. This morning, we are submitting the corrective action summary from the second quarter of 2022, which encompasses April through June of this year. During this quarter, the following discipline was completed: 1 discharge, 11 reprimands, and 1 settlement agreement. At this time, I'll take any questions you may have.
I have a question about the people who are released from duty for a certain number of days. Do they get training in the area that they had a weakness in?
Yes, so most of the time there's training and counseling initiated immediately if there's an incident like the EMS incidents that were identified. And then if there's a settlement agreement at the end of the investigative process, there can be an educational-based discipline component to it. But for most of the policy violations, there's immediate training and counseling, one way provided to the members.
Okay, very good. Are there any kind of questions or concerns from commissioners regarding this report for Chief Kepner? Okay, I don't see or hear of anyone. Thank you very much, Chief Kepner. We'll move to a vote. Is there a motion to receive and file this report, BFC 22-088?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we receive and file BFC 22-088. Ms. Gomez?
Woods Gray,
Aye.
Babcock, Hara,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Ibarra.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gomez. Let's move to item 7C, which I believe is going to be done by Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am, that is true.
Good. Okay. Good.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Madam President, Commissioners.
Now, this
City
is a
family.
man we can ask about the facilities line budget.
Right. We'll
Okay,
get
go
to it.
ahead, Mr. Rodriguez.
The report before you provides an update on the adopted budget, which was presented by the mayor on April 20th as per city charter. and adopted by the council on May 18th of this year for July 1st implementation. The department will utilize $824 million from various resources, supporting a $783 million operating budget and $41 million in non-departmental allocations for MCLA fleet replacement, facilities maintenance, and set-asides in the city's unappropriated balance for funding obligations and certain new initiatives. The operating budget is $37 million above the previous fiscal year of $746 million, which represents an increase of 4.9%, just under 5%. That is was due primarily to obligatory MOU salary adjustments for sworn and civilian employees and increased staffing, a lot of which was added during the council deliberations. So at this point, I'm just going to go over some of the budget's major highlights. The attachment of the report will provide a summary for all significant items, and I'll just kind of briefly go over those in over the next few minutes. In the category of a recruit training and development, there was funding provided for 5 academy classes to train 300 new firefighters. That was $19 million. That was a big win for the department. It puts us on the path to meet the expected attrition, the spikes in attrition that are expected right around January 2024 over the next couple of years.
That's good.
We hope to get that same level of funding for 5 classes next year to maintain that momentum. There's also funding for equity and inclusion staffing. There were 7 positions added to implement a strategic DEI plan through a new Human Resources Bureau. So this would essentially represent the first phase of staffing. We would expect to see more on that over the next budget cycle in 23-24. Professional Standards Division, just dovetailing on the prior discussion, was funding added to increase the investigation staff to address a backlog in Board of Rights appeals cases and improve case outcomes. There was also some expense funding added there to increase the efficiency among the investigators, such as funding added to upgrade the case tracking system, which is currently in need of updates to improve case outcomes. Funding added for diversity and recruitment. There were 5 fire captains added in that line item to enhance the recruitment of women and underrepresented groups. There was also funding for the Early Intervention Treatment Program, which was initially funded by the Innovation Fund a few years ago. Due to ongoing success of that program, the budget will now take on the ongoing cost of the fire captain who heads up that program, as well as approximately $100,000 a year for the athletic trainer support. Moving on to field resources and support, there was a funding added for fire development services staffing, which includes inspection and plan check staff for increased load in fire development services, particularly with development of the increased efforts toward development of supportive and affordable housing. Fleet maintenance staffing. Fleet maintenance suffered significantly during the separation incentive program departures. So there were significant add-backs to get that section over in supply maintenance closer to previous staffing levels and maintain an adequate fleet availability rate for all the fleet on the field and reduce civilian overtime. Wildland Fuel Management Unit Crew Program. This is a new initiative for the department. There was funding added in the unappropriated balance to support the hiring, at least 26 fire suppression aides, sort of an entry-level class for fire service, focusing on wildland areas. That's a new class yet to be created, so we get the funding, and creation of the class will go through the civil service process over the course of the year. And once that's created and all appropriate resources identified, the department will report back to access those funds from the also funding provided for youth black wellness support, total of $250,000. That's also in the UB to increase capacity on that organization's end. Moving on to equipment needs, the department received $24 million for the fleet replacement program, which includes, the standard replacements for aerials, engines, ambulances, support vehicles. There was also funding of just around 2.6 included for replacement of a light-duty helicopter, which was exceeding its service miles. Also within that funding was $1.6 million to support purchase of an excavator and related rig and equipment for post-fire demolition of dangerous structures. I think in the past the department has had to rely on equipment from other departments, namely GSD. But this will put the equipment and the department's immediate access and improve response times. There was also funding for cardiac monitor replacement, $850,000 from the general fund to leverage $500,000 from the Kaiser fund toward a 7-year purchase plan to replace the entire inventory of 253 plus cardiac monitors that will actually feature the latest industry standard technology, also aimed at improving public safety outcomes and save additional lives. Extractor Installations, this has been ongoing funding for the last few years now. The department received $200,000 to continue installations through the efforts of GSD and BOE. Again, this is a partnership with the Fire Foundation, who supplies the units, and the city will essentially provide the installation funding. I believe there are about 20 to 25 stations to go that are currently without extractors. Moving on to technology, voice radio system upgrade. This is a project with a price tag of $19 million, which is in dire need of replacement. The $4 million represents the incremental funding needed in the current year to get that project moving. I believe this project was heard over last Fire Commission. And the funding will complete it over next year's funding cycle with a request of approximately $7 million just to close the gap on that and mobilize a lot of the upgrades and radio console replacements that need to occur over the near term. Fire station alerting, there was $500,000 for to complete that project. That's basically to make the funding whole. That project is almost going live and had a price tag of $4.5 million. Last item on technology, department received $475,000 to continue online support services, software upgrades, hardware purchases and it really does represent the minimal amount of funding to fulfill some of the needs. There's just so much the department is doing on the information technology end that is really short of funding. The final category, fire facilities, capital improvement expenditure program, a lot of which you heard in the previous item on the agenda. Chief Thomas already went through the various funding sources. So directly in the budget was about $700,000 to between MCLA and general fund to conduct the most basic repairs and replacements on the over the 106 fire stations. So with continuing fiscal challenges across the city, the budget will address the department's most pressing needs, both for frontline response and fire prevention and safety. We are preparing for the new fiscal year budget now, and we'll come forward with a preliminary report, department priorities and needs for the commission's consideration and input over the month of October. That essentially ends my presentation. Welcome any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. As usual, you always give us a very thorough report. Thank you, and I like the way you outlined the items on the budget. What is new on this list?
Going back to my notes here. So what is essentially new is the, again, funding toward the creation of a new Human Resources Bureau through equity and inclusion staffing funding. That was a $670,000 that would provide for the first phase effort, 7 positions to support creation of the strategic plan and all DEI efforts. Diversity and recruitment, well, the RSS is not new. There was that's new funding to add 5 fire captains for the efforts to, include recruitment of underrepresented groups. Wildland Fuel Management Unit Crew Program, that's currently operates on volunteer basis through cadet recruits. So the intent of this program is to offer a paid program.
Which page is that
on? Just looking at the summary, the first page summary of the report before you. Just going through some of the line items toward bottom of the page.
That's one that I'm happy to hear about.
Yeah, and that's second item from the bottom, WFMU Crew Program.
Okay.
Again, that's to provide funding to actually pay fire suppression aides pending creation of the class. That will likely be a year-long effort to get through the CSE Commission. And we're likely to see additional budget requests on that to provide support staff over the following year. Also new is cardiac monitors replacement. The current LifePack units have been operating for a good generation now. They're not meeting the industry standard for first response. There's better units out there. The department's currently looking at Zoll that actually has more wireless capabilities, real-time data capabilities. It has a significant price tag, but we're able to leverage it with special funds, which made it a feasible package over the coming 7 years that would be brought online. That's pretty much it. Everything else is basically supporting our current critical needs and resources.
Oh, okay, very good. Thank you. Those items are some that we have wanted to see budgeted for, so that's really good. Also, the the brush unit has extra clerical help, so that's really, I'm happy to see that also.
Yeah, they have much needed. Right.
Much needed there. And Chief Hogan, I have to ask you this because I don't have my notes in front of me, but is it Captain Winbush who is in charge of the Crew 3?
Wingate.
Wingate.
Yes.
Captain
Firefighter Wingate. Yes, ma'am.
Firefighter Wingate.
Yes,
and just a few weeks ago, he was honored on Channel 7, I believe it was, or 9.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For his work with the brush. That reminded me when I saw the item and I forgot to mention to congratulate him again on that work, because it's the work that he does there is very valuable, and I don't think they get enough credit for it. And I was really happy to see that the television was highlighting the work of that crew.
Absolutely.
That was extremely exciting to me to see that, because I remember when I first met him. And so I'm so glad that we're getting money in there to try to help out with that program also.
Yes.
Much needed, much needed. Commissioner
really is.
Ibarra?
Oh,
Commissioner
hi.
Ibarra?
Yes, I had a couple of comments. First, Mr. Rodriguez, how much would it cost for us to go back to the staffing levels? I mean, if it's possible, because I know it takes a long time to get through, to do recruitment and get through the academy, but for us to get back to the staffing level that we were in 2007, can you estimate like a dollar figure that we would need in order to get back to those staffing levels?
I couldn't give you a ballpark figure now. I'd kind of have to look back at the assumptions, but I'd be happy to calculate that for you.
That would be great, because I think that we have a lot of challenges in the department, but absolutely during COVID, one of the things that we learned is that the biggest challenge that we have is definitely that we're not adequately staffed. We're not back to the staffing levels that we were before 2007, before the big recession. And so we're still sort of in a hole that we're trying to dig ourselves out of. And I think that's really important.
Right.
That's we could get that priority, just ballpark numbers. As everybody knows, in the next few months, we're going to have a new mayor. And, whoever that is, I think that there needs to be a big conversation in the city about how we staff this department, whether it's adequately staffed. And people need to understand that there is a choice about, am I correct when I say that about 80% of the discretionary budget in the city goes to public safety, so it goes to either police or fire? Are you familiar enough to say that?
I mean, conceptually sounds about right. It's a fairly large.
That's the number
proportion.
that I've heard a lot, and that it's been on my mind the whole time that I've been on this commission. That it's about 80% of the budget. So, there are choices that are going to be made, and when you tilt more to police, there's only so many places that it can come out of, and one of those places is LAFD. So that's one of the things that I'm concerned about. I want us to have this discussion. I want us to understand what it takes to staff us, because that's the biggest concern that I hear from firefighters. There's others, but that's one of the big ones. It impacted everybody's life during COVID, and what is it going to take for us to sort of dig out of this hole? So let's start thinking about that. So I would appreciate it if you would, just give us an estimate of how much money that's going to be and what that's going to look like. Second of all, like another comment about DEI is that was, some of the public commenters sort of don't understand all of the work that went into sort of getting a lot of stakeholders in this department, including the biggest one, BOFC, to be on board with this and to get us to where we are now. And I'm going to gladly take credit for that, because that was years of my work with Chief Terrazas. That was years. It wasn't a year, it was 4 years. And also getting, the key stakeholders to say yes to this and to get us to the point where we are now. So I'm very happy and proud to take credit for that. That's me. That was Chief Terrazas. And we're happy to give it to, Chief Crawley and to the new president of the commission, but that was absolutely me, and I will take credit for that. And I think that's it. But thank you so much. You always do such a great job with this, explaining to us where the budget is. And so thanks.
Yeah, of course. On your first question, yeah, there were a number of resources that were added back since we had the huge reduction in the last Great Recession in connection with the modified deployment plan. But the department's come short in some areas. I know we haven't added back all of the light trucks and the engines that were anticipated. But there were more ambulances added to sort of meet the increased need for EMS. And I think, yeah, the standards of cover study that's still under, that's still a major topic of this discussion will factor into, you know, where we really need to be dollar-wise in terms of the department moving forward in its field resources. So, yeah, I'd be happy to report back on some of those numbers in our next meeting.
That's a great point. The standards to cover will sort of give us some guidance as to where we should be. But as we know, because staffing takes such a long time here,
Right.
you know, we're still gonna have the same level of calls that we have now. We've tried really hard to sort of create new programs that divert some of these calls, and we've done a good job with that. But even that takes a long time to sort of get off the ground.
Yeah.
A lot of negotiations with a lot, you know, not just stakeholders, but also with, you know, the political class in the city. All of that takes a lot of time. So even when we get the standards to cover report, there's going to be a long time when we're still we need to respond to the calls that come in right now, unless we can sort of figure out ways, and which is what we've been doing, sort of piecing things together. So that's also why that's necessary. But thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any other concerns or questions from other commissioners? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. And we look forward to seeing you the next time when you bring us another update.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, we're at 7C. I need a motion to receive and file that report.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we receive and file BFC 22-090. Ms. Gomez?
Woods Gray,
Aye.
Babcock,
Yes.
Hara,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Ibarra.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gomez. Now we'll move on to item D, BFC 22-093. Is it, I'm not sure who is to give that report.
This will most probably be either Chief Everett or Chief Lewis.
It's actually going to be Laura Triner, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, Madam President and
Good morning.
Commissioners. My name is Laura Triner. I'm a Senior Personnel Analyst in the Personnel Services section. And the drop forecast reports include information on the diversity of those enrolled in the program. One report is broken down by classification, while the other report is broken down by ethnicity and gender. Also included are the quarterly diversity reports for both sworn and civilian members. And that concludes my report unless there are any questions.
Okay, let's see here. A question I might have for you, are there any changes from the last report?
Well, the numbers will change, yes, but the actual data presenting is the same.
So we have more people or less people than we had in the last report for 2024? Or you have new people who joined, who decided to retire?
There are some differences from the previous one. I could not tell you the exact numbers, but if you look back for the last year, you can see for each month through 2021 and forward what the actual numbers are per each month.
So we still know that by 2025, 2024, by 2024, we have a lot of work to do. Chief Everett, do you have a comment on that?
Ma'am, I was just going to say that the numbers will fluctuate based on personal decisions of our members. Some members might leave early, or members will join the drop program at different times in their career. So when we get these reports, it is a snapshot in time, and they are estimates basically, so we can anticipate retirements pretty close, but sometimes the numbers do fluctuate.
And can people get out of the program once they say they want to be in it? Once they indicate they're retiring, can they withdraw that?
I believe once you sign up and you're in, there is a slight cooling off period, but once that period exhausts, you are in until you exit the drop. And you have the option to exit at a maximum of 5 years, or you could leave at any time during that time period.
I see. Okay. Commissioner Babcock, did you have comments?
No, ma'am.
I just saw your picture, so
Yeah.
Sometimes they light up like when people want to be heard.
No, ma'am, just wanted to express my confirmation of your question, just knowing the drop program coming from the Pension Commission has a maximum of 5 and ability to come out before, but once you're enrolled, it's pretty much set because of the actual financial commitment that happens between the city and the firefighter at that time. So.
Very good. And I've noted that I just through other means that we have a number of females who are retiring, and I'm certain, and I see that there are a number of males that also have retired over the last months. So and we already are short of staffing, so we really have an issue, don't we? Okay, very good. Are there any other comments or questions from commissioners? Okay, seeing none, thank you, Ms. Schreiner, for the report, and we'll look forward to the next quarterly report, hoping that things are no worse than they are. Is there a motion to receive and file item D?
Motion
7D?
to receive and file item D.
Is there a second? It's moved and seconded that we receive and file BFC 22-093. Ms. Gomez?
What's Gray?
Aye.
Babcock?
Yes.
Hara?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Ibarra?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next one is Chief Graham Everett on the update.
Good afternoon, Madam President, Commissioners.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Is it morning still?
And Attorney Nguyen. My name is Graham Everett. I serve as the Chief of Staff. I'll provide you with our updated COVID numbers for this meeting. The total number of employees that we have are 3,741. 3,395 of those members are sworn. We have 3,267 members that are fully vaccinated. 2,954 are sworn, and 313 of those members are civilian. The number of 3,741 is, or I'm sorry, the number of 3,267 of fully vaccinated is 87.33% of our employees. We have a total of 343 exemptions from employees that are not fully vaccinated. 295 of those are religious based, and 34 of those are medically based, and 14 of those are both religious and medically based. At this time, we had 359 members that were put on administrative leave, and then we had 129 of those members that became compliant before they were placed on that leave once they were notified. So that left us with 230 members that were actually placed on that leave. After being placed on that leave, we had 211 that became compliant, 16 that resigned, 2 that retired early, and 2 that were discharged. We currently have 16 members on an unpaid administrative leave. Our current numbers of members off duty, we have 9 members in isolation right now with an active case of COVID, and we have 4 members that are unable to return to duty due to a post-infection disability, and we have one member on a light duty basis due to post-infection disability. No members are in the hospital at this time, and that concludes my report for this week, unless there's any questions.
Very good. Thank you very much, Chief Everett. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the chief on that report? Okay, I don't think I see or hear from anyone with that. So thank you very much, Chief Everett. We'll see you at the next meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that brings us to the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Okay, so moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Ms. Gomez?
I need to confirm, I barely heard it. Was that Commissioner Harvey or Commissioner Hara that seconded the adjournment? Okay, thank you. Woods Gray?
Aye.
Babcock?
Yes.
Hara?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Ibarra?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. And commissioners, just before we go off, did everyone get their iPads?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Thank you, Chief Hogan. I know that you worked on that project. Commissioner Babcock made a suggestion. I followed up with the Chief Criley, and she put Chief Hogan in charge, and Chief Hogan went right to it. Thank you, Chief Hogan.
Can I ask a question about the iPads? I know that we're supposed to get our reports electronically through them. How does that work?
You know, I guess, Letitia, you'll be sending the reports to our city email addresses, right?
Yes, I will
Like
continue
usual?
my normal process, but I believe that the process that Commissioner Babcock described would be different, because from what I'm recalling is you should be able to search by subject, vaguely is what I recall.
So
is that okay? Go ahead.
The request, yeah, so again, thank you, Chief Hogan and everybody for this effort to get the iPads. So what I had also recommended, and I know the iPads were already given out, but typically we would use some sort of shared version. I know at LAFPP they used Box, B-O-X, which is not Dropbox, it's something separate. And all the reports are uploaded weekly, or I'm sorry, each meeting, and you can go back to the reports for years for that matter, because they're all there, but weekly you'd be able to pull them up and retain them so that they're right in front of you. For those commissioners who still want paper, I understand that, but I, for one, would probably be okay not using paper. I know that's probably very time consuming for the staff member that has to do that and print them out and send that to us. It would instead be uploaded to that version. That has to come from the department. We can't, yes, it could go to our emails, but it sort of defeats the purpose of having some sort of shared version of just having one place for that staff member to upload. It should save hours of time if we can get to that.
Okay, so then should Chief Hogan and Ms. Gomez check with that department? Chief Graham, you have something ever to say on that issue?
Yeah. Ma'am, we can create a Google Drive and have that uploaded if that's the type of platform you're thinking of. And then the documents could be uploaded to the shared drive on the Google Drive for you all to access, if that's what you'd like to do.
And additionally,
is the Box app different from that?
It is, Madam President, it is a different platform. I think, that's just an example. The Google Drive could work just as long as they're, organized in folders instead of having the reports just come one by one, that literally you drop all the reports in the September 20th board meeting, so you could just pull it up that way. So if it ends up being the Google Drive, that's totally fine. It's just, it's not an actual app platform. We just log in, I guess, from our email addresses. So whatever works best for the department, they're going to know. my recommendation was just to have some sort of digital platform that we could use to get away from the paper.
Now, I also just want to, can I add something? Because I don't know that all the listeners are aware that all of the reports, I mean, they're all public. So there is a website that you can visit that will have all the reports, I mean, dating back to like 10 years or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
So there is that, but it's sort of, it's more useful if they're in a box just for this meeting or something like that.
Yeah, it's more for just between the commissioners, however they're going to access everything, and understood that we can get all the agendas online as well.
So Chief Graham, could you maybe, we have a technology person there on staff, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Perhaps you could run that through them and see what they can come up with that would work well for our commission.
Yes, so we currently organize the commission meetings for the recordings. We already do it that way. So I'll work with ITB, and I think there's a good solution that will be easy to use and easy to manage on this end as well.
Right. I know you could, I knew you could take care of that. Thank you very much. Okay. Anytime you have a problem, just tell Chief Graham. He'll figure it out. Okay. Very good. Thank you, staff. Thank everyone for all the work that you've done this week. Thanks, commissioners, for showing up. And I'll see you at the next meeting. And don't forget, Corinne, about the app, the link for the relay or race or whatever.
I'll send that over via email to you right now.
Okay, good. Thanks. Bye-bye. Goodbye, everyone.